Hey Austin, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. We're going to go through and talk about your motion, look at your mechanics, and kind of break it down frame by frame and go over a few spots to look at and analyze and, make sure you're doing everything good. Overall for your age, everything's looking pretty solid here. Nothing's red flagging that looking like you're setting up for injury or anything like that. The biggest key at your age is just getting your body in a position to deliver the ball with using as much of your lower half as you can. The legs, as you get older and you get stronger, that's going to be sort of the main driving force behind your mechanics. It's going to be something where your velocity is generated from. And so the big emphasis is lower half. It's about balance, and everything else kind of just takes care of itself. All right, so we're going to go through and talk a little bit about each step, and we'll go back here to the start and kind of break it down at the different spots we kind of look at. All right, so we'll get up here to your right where you come set. Okay, so right here. So you're bringing your hands up. Looks like they stop right about here. All right, so what we're going to mark out here, we're just going to mark a line right through your spine about. All right, then we're going to go over your head, and we're just going to watch it. This is the balance part. So we're going to watch what your weight does as you lift your leg. All right, so as you can see, you're staying over your back leg really well. All right, you're not drifting forward as your leg lifts, which you see a lot. You're not rocking back, so your weight's distributed really well. All right, one of the things that you do see is if I mark your head here, and as you click forward, you can kind of see how you drop down a little bit. All right, so what we want to try to get to is we want to try to keep that head on that. We're not going to drop down any bit, maybe just a little bit, but that head's just going to kind of fall with the mound. We're not going to go down, and then kind of up, and that you just kind of lose your lower half. And basically what you're doing is you're getting this leg up here, and you're just kind of getting up there really high and kind of crouching down. High leg kick isn't too bad. It's just something that you want to work on, especially out of the stretch, which you're starting from, because when you get older and those runners get on base, you can't be as long. You're going to have to, cut it about right here. Just lift that knee up just a little bit to get your hips closed, and then get going. But, I don't think guys are on base yet for you, so it's not too big of a deal. But when it gets high enough where you have to change your posture, where you dip down lower, it's something that you need to control a little bit more so you're not dropping that posture down. All right, but anyways, you're getting your hips in a good position here. All right, your hips are closed off. Now at this position, what we want to see is we want to start to see your hips starting to move forward as your hands start to come down and that ball come out, and this foot just kind of stay behind your hips. We don't want them to get past your hips until you're well far down the mound here. All right, so as we start ticking forward, all right, you can see how you just kind of lag back a little bit. And what I want you to kind of watch is what your upper body's doing. All right, so let's key in on this position. All right, so as your leg's coming down, you can kind of see how you're not making any movement with your head. If you're looking at that light post in the background, you can see how your head just kind of staying right on it as you go down. All right, you just kind of staying there. Now you start forward. And so what you're doing there is you're just kind of staying back. So now what sort of has to overcompensate is this left side has to come out open and this front foot has to come out open. And so as you see, once you come through and you land right here at your foot strike, it's about right there. All right, you can see you're landing open. All right, if we were drawing a straight line from your back foot to the catcher, you're seeing you're stepping way open, and we'd want to try to see that more around that line. All right, so what you want to try to get to is back in this position, is maintain that same posture about right here. All right, might be a little bit of lean, but what you want to try to see is as your hips drive forward, all right, as your leg kind of swings down, you start moving forward with your upper body too. All right, so you're just kind of staying back there, kind of lagging. So as you tick forward here, here's your spine. Here's a couple frames forward. Now you're kind of going here. Now you might be at this position, a couple more frames forward. Now you're at this position. All right, and so what you're doing with this is you're getting more momentum forward, you're getting more drive, and you're just getting more power behind everything because you're just not sitting back. You know, it's good to stay over that back leg, over that back rubber here, but it's just sort of, you're just doing too much. Now that leg has too much time. It's going to swing open, and you're going to lose that lower half. So just try to get that point where you're staying in line. You know, mark a drag. You know, drag your foot from the back of the rubber towards the catcher, and just try to land somewhere around that line, and that'll keep you in line a little bit more. All right. So now what we look at foot strike. So we look at once that front foot first hits the ground, you can see looks like it's about right here. All right, you're doing a pretty good job at keeping your glove out over your front foot. All right, it's starting to turn a little bit early, like I kind of said about how that left side has to pop open a little bit early, but you're doing good at keeping that glove out there. But the biggest thing for you through that release point, which will clean up once you get that front foot in line more. Once you get in line, you're going to see yourself get a little bit farther down the mound to about right here. All right, you're probably going to hopefully get that front side closed a little bit longer. And so then through your release point, what I want you to key off of is as you're coming through, here's your release. So it's somewhere between, you know, it doesn't pick it up, but there's somewhere between these frames is, we'll go back to this one because the ball's still in your hand. You can see this back foot's already off the ground, and your angle of your spine is about right here, and you can see a little bit of daylight between your elbow. All right, so what that's just showing is you're just kind of pushing the ball a little bit. You're out front. What we want to try to get to is that back foot still on the ground, creating more of a straight sort of triangle shape out over your front foot. So now you're going to be out here, you know, you're driving all the way through that back foot. Now your head's probably out about, you know, right around here somewhere, and now that elbow's not lagging out in front. You're not pushing it, you're using your whole body. All right, and so that's just sort of that position we want to try to get to through that release. But you know, again, it's all pretty solid for your age, and so just a matter of staying in line, but just not staying back so far. You know, kind of clean up, minimize that leg kick a little bit, and just start down the mound a little bit quicker. And so you're going to be good after that. I mean, everything else is pretty solid there. So anyways, thanks for making it out to camp. Hopefully you had a great time. Good luck this season, and hopefully we'll see you again with ABC.